Hello, I'm Ricky Church. I'm here for Flickering Myth, speaking today with Michael Chaves for the Conjuring Last Rite. So, how are you doing, Michael?
I am doing great, Ricky. I'm so happy to see like a normal plain background like mine. I'm like everyone else has the most amazingly art directed backgrounds, and I'm like I always feel underdressed. So
Yeah, we're in the process of moving, so this is all it is, unfortunately. But I'm
well, I have
glad
no
you feel
excuses then.
I'm glad you feel safe with this. All
Nice
right,
white
so
void.
Michael, you have already had a long history with the Conjuring franchise or the Conjuring universe. You know, you directed Curse of Lonorna. Sorry, tongue-tied there.
La
And then
Llorona,
you
yeah, you
directed
got it.
the last Conjuring and Nun 2. So, what's it like for you to come back and do the Last Rites, which is potentially the Warrens' last outing in investigating the paranormal?
Um, it's been a great privilege, honestly. Like I think the whole ride. I mean, basically, I don't know how to direct any other type of movie. I mean, it's the only movies I make. But no, I think honestly, it's been just like the best. It's been such a great, the Conjuring and even the Nun, which is, a spin-off. They're like so much like the catnip of the type of movies that I love. And so it's like this perfect Venn diagram of everything that I love in movies. And so it's been so much fun to work in it. And just an incredible privilege to be at this point of closing the series out. And because I love it and I feel like an incredible responsibility to the fans and it's it's just been great. And there's because people have like asked like, oh, like what about the pressure of doing this last one? And the pressure honestly has been, especially as we got into it, was so replaced by this feeling of like just like the fans are saying goodbye to this series that they love so much, so am I. Like, it was like this is the last time that I get to work with
Mhm.
Patrick and Vera. This is the last time that, I get to work with James and Peter. And, maybe there will be other projects or incarnations that we will reteam on, but in terms of like Ed and Lorraine Warren doing their investigations, this is the last one. And so there was kind of a bittersweet quality as I was kind of going through the production.
Mhm. Yeah, that actually is a perfect lead into one of my questions because this movie ends with like a potentially like happy ending for them. They're opening up a new chapter, but then it's the end of like an era for you guys, especially for Patrick and Vera, who have played these characters like since 2012, pretty much when they started filming, and then 2013 was the release and onward up till now. So what was that like the emotional aspect in crafting this story, knowing like we're closing the book on the Warrens and we're closing the book on Patrick and Vera and like for you, Peter James, can you describe like the emotions on like that last day of set or like in the editing booth when you've like closed the film?
You know, it's funny because the final day, like the final days it's kind of a because the way the schedule is, there wasn't like one great final day because like there's like Patrick's last day and like he was like running off to do another movie, and so it was like kind of a quick goodbye on that. And then Vera's final day, she was getting over like a cold and I was like getting over the norovirus, and so like we didn't even like hug goodbye. It was like all these things where it was like um you like that wasn't, you kind of almost like expect the big tear, heartfelt like goodbye in that. And that wasn't ever there. But there was, over the course of the whole movie, it was like there was all these kind of like little moments. Like, there was the last scene um, with Father Gordon when he's at the party. That was
Mhm.
actually the last scene they play against each other. And Steve Coulter, who plays Father Gordon, like afterwards, it was this kind of like sweet, kind of quiet moment where he was like, hugging them goodbye, and he was like, "This is the last time play against each other like in these parts. And it was like, that was actually like, I think in our first week of filming, but you had all of these like little micro moments of just like, people saying goodbye to each other. And like, um, that was always really interesting.
Hmm. And like for such a relatively like new franchise, like I said, 2013, but like the Conjuring universe has had such a huge impact, not just with the main series, but spin-offs. So what do you think the main appeal has been for that, like, and just how the audiences keep coming back?
I think that people love the characters. I think they love Patrick and Vera. I think that that's something that like um people love those characters and they love the actors that play them. And I think that in addition to just like a good old fashioned haunted house story, that's really
Mhm.
fun. People like love, I know I love that. I keep on coming back to that. And I describe it like a burger, about how like, there's just because you've had a million burgers in your life doesn't mean that a really well made burger isn't going to be the best thing that you've ever eaten, And I think I
Mhm.
kind of like see that with these movies. It's like we've seen a lot of haunted house movies, and even in this series, we've seen many variations of the haunted house. But it's like there is something incredibly satisfying of that when you get the right ingredients involved.
All right. Well, great. Thank you very much for speaking with me, Michael. Conjuring Last Rites is great and bittersweet end to this iteration of the universe.
Well, thank you, Ricky, and good luck with your move.
Yeah, thank you.